Hey guys, James here, another James. Wanted to make a quick video on a new car that we just picked up, and it's right in front of me. So this is it. This is our 2024 Model X. It is the non-plaid version, and as you can see, it is the stealth gray paint. It is the new paint color choice that Tesla offers, and I think it looks great. Absolutely love it. What I like to do for you guys is to make a quick video on the experience of picking up the car and the ownership of the car. So let's get to it. All right. So, all right, here we go. What do I think of the car? Well, this will be my third time driving the car. Let me get you guys situated here. And let's see, it's about maybe 60 miles or so since we picked it up. And I have to say that it's probably one of the better driving cars that we've had. We still have a Tesla Model Y Performance that I picked up back in 2020. In fact, we were probably one of the first deliveries when that car got released. And that was actually our first foray into the world of EV. I wasn't too convinced at the time whether or not we would keep the car. Strategically, I bought the car when it got released because I figured, worst case, if I didn't like it, that the ability to sell it at a minimal loss or no loss was my ticket out. Suffice to say, going on 4 years later, and 60,000 more miles on the Model Y, it's been a great experience. It was a car that we bought for the family, and it's proven itself. In the 4 years, the car maybe had to visit the dealership 4 or 5 times at most, just to take care of little knick-knack things. And one of the things that you probably have heard of is that Tesla's QC isn't all that great, and there were some panel gaps, some trim issues when we picked up the Model Y, but Tesla took care of those things, so can't knock them for that. But it was a little disconcerting to be picking up a new car, and at the time the Performance cost about $70,000. To pick up a car that cost that much but had some of these issues. But however, since Tesla's took care of them, really it doesn't leave you with much to complain about. That car was very sporty. That car has only one suspension mode. You can't adjust it. It drives closer to a sports car. It's a stiffer suspension ride. When you go over bumps, it feels like it could knock something loose, I guess, is a better way to put it. You do hear a little bit of rattling or thereabouts. But I think it was just like the seat belt clip hitting the plastic trim. But in any case, I contrast that by saying this Model X has been a completely different experience. This is the refresh model, and when we picked up this car, it really didn't have any issues. The panel gaps were great. I'd looked it over. I knew what to look for from the experience of the Model Y. And the car just is better put together. The fit and finish in here is, it's just night and day difference from what Tesla was like before. The materials are nice. There's no rattles. There's no creaking sound or anything of that nature. And in fact, the materials feel so much nicer. The vegan leather here, I challenge you to sit in a Mercedes, a BMW, or even an Audi and can tell me that it feels any different. In fact, I think a blindfold test would probably prove my statement. The leather really feels top notch. The wood trim in here, and by the way, this is the non-plaid, so it gets a wood trim, not the carbon fiber layout. I don't know if it's real or not, but you know, if I touch it, it feels real and it looks real, and it's put together really nicely. It creates a very nice ambiance in here. It's very calm. It feels soothing. There's not much going on in here. Teslas are known for having this streamlined, very modern design. I like it. I know people don't like cars without buttons, but maybe it's because we've had the Model Y for 4 years now that it feels very intuitive for us. The only complaint if I had about Tesla, and this goes across the board, is their mileage depictions. I think when they advertise a certain kind of miles, I'll give you an example. This morning, I had this car charged overnight to 80%. So when I got in it, it was showing 252 miles. Now, I drove maybe 4 miles and looked at the range that was left, and it deducted about 12. So what you drive and what it shows is a bit strange. Not sure, I wasn't driving crazy or anything, but that's the only downside to Tesla. But maybe it's just constantly calculating. I don't know. I guess I'll keep an eye on this one. I know in the Model Y that's kind of been a bit of the issue. It's nothing that bothers me too much because of where we live, which is in SoCal. There's a bunch of supercharging stations, so there's always one nearby whenever we need. And the only time we've ever really needed to use a supercharging station was if we did a road trip. So the day-to-day driving around town, running errands, that kind of thing, it's been easy, especially if you're able to just charge your car at home and not have to go to a gas station. I think that in itself is quite a luxury. The ability to also not have to take the car to get a smog check, that's awesome. The ability to not have to take the car to get an oil change or any other mechanical issues, I mean, that again is a different kind of luxury that isn't really spoken about too much. I think people equate luxury to fit and finish, materials, features of a car, but I think those things need to be mentioned as well. Just the luxury of not having to do those things means there's more time or there's less time dedicated to maintaining a car. The main thing that we've had to deal with on the Tesla Model Y was just to change tires. I mean, they do go through tires because the amount of torque they have is quite staggering. And also, I think the rear wheels are cambered in such a way that it does eat the tires up a little quicker. But putting that aside, it really is nice to just not have to go to the gas station. I say that because I have other cars which do have to go and get gas at stations. I don't miss that. This is easy ownership, let's put it that way. Now, this car, it has really proven itself to be a very comfortable daily commuter. I have this car in comfort mode. I have not yet put it in sport mode. In fact, I don't even think I want to try it in sport mode. I will eventually, but what I'm getting at is it is so comfortable. The Model Y performance, it definitely hugs the corner if you want to go through it at a high rate of speed. But I feel even this car in comfort mode can corner the same. I have not yet put it in sport mode, so I don't know how much more aggressive I can take a corner. But that being said, I don't think I really want to be taking corners at a high rate of speed in this car. It's bigger than the Model Y for sure. But for whatever reason, when I'm in this car, it just doesn't put me in a state of mind to want to drive like a hooligan, I guess. The Model Y performance, on the other hand, because maybe the size of it's so compact, you feel like you can dart in and out of traffic. I don't want to say it encourages you to, but it certainly gives you the leeway to do so. But this one here, it's such a comfortable ride. I mean, when I go over bumps, it soaks it up. There's no creaking, there's no squeaking, there's no rattling. So that's a welcome change. Now, my brother has the older Model X, the pre-facelifted version, and the amount of times that I've been in there as a passenger or even driven his car, it's a night and day difference from this particular one. The refresh model, I have to say, Tesla really put effort into upping the quality, both in fit and finish and materials. That car, had Tesla continued to make that car the way it was without the facelift, I would not have made a purchase on this one. Now, I should also note that this car wasn't for me. I bought it for my dad. I've been lucky enough to be in a position to have repaid my parents. One way that I like to do so is to purchase the cars that they like. So every now and then when they want a new car, I just go ahead and get it for them. So I'm hoping that he's gonna be able to find the same conclusions that I have with this. I think he will. It's pretty evident that it's going to be a great car. Anyway, so I'm just driving now. I mean, I'm sitting through traffic, but it's such a gentle ride. I mean, really, there's no lack of power. I mean, this thing goes 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. It's what, barely off the 3.5 advertised for the Model Y Performance. So you can't really feel the difference. At least I haven't been able to. It's fast enough. We live in a place where there are hills, and so I have an Escalade, and when I take that car home, sometimes it feels like, you know, you got to really press on the gas to get going, especially as you're going up a steep hill. These EVs, I mean, I don't need to tell you, these things just go. So it's been great as far as the performance of the car. No problems, obviously, merging into traffic on a freeway or anything like that. So really, the only complaint, if there is one, is the range. But again, I think if you plan accordingly, or, you know, unless you're going about long distance type of driving, I don't know that you have to really worry about it all that much. I also have a Cybertruck coming. I can't wait for that. We saw one at the pickup location where we got the Model Y, and it's fantastic. I can't wait for that product. I guess what I'm saying is, I feel like every time I see a new Tesla, they keep upping the quality. There were some new Model 3s, the recently facelifted one, sitting at the dealership, the location where we picked up this Model X, and they look great. I didn't really get to sit and play with it, but I have to say, from my eyeballs, they look great. Again, the Cybertruck is something I'm just waiting for. So anyway, yeah, I think I probably will make some follow-up videos to this just to see what it's like over time. Most likely you have to borrow it from my dad. Reason why I'm not yet is because, or rather why I haven't given him this car yet, is because I'm going to get it wrapped for him. So that'll probably give me about a week's time to hold on to this and just kind of see if I'm going to make more videos on it and see what additional feedback I can give you guys on this. Anyway, if you guys have any thoughts, let me know. I don't know. Let's just see if we can get a conversation going on it. I'll make a video again soon. Thanks, guys.